Air traffic control just cleared the chase aircraft to come into position. That will be coordinating with the 747-8 for the takeoff.
That's right. We have two T-33 airplanes, and that is, again, protocol. They will, and we'll actually see them sort of get ahead of the airplane, and they will launch from Boeing Field, and so once that happens, we'll have a pretty good indication we're ready to fly.
Absolutely. It'll be very close. Actually, it's a chase aircraft that calls brake release for the Dash 8. That way they can coordinate and join up.
All right. The airplane right now, as you can see, heading turning west and heading to the end of the runway 34 left. Telling you a little bit more about this airplane. It is 18 feet longer, about 5.5 meters, and you can see that lengthened fuselage. It seats about 467 passengers in the 3-class configuration, 50 more than its predecessor, the 747-400. And you know, it's probably surprised some people outside of aviation too that despite its size, it is one of the fastest commercial jets out there, Mach 0.855.
Yeah, that's correct. We even, when we started flying 47s back years ago, we had to buy a new chase airplane because the fighter couldn't keep up with it.
Speaking of which, we just were looking up to the sky and we see the two T-33 chase airplanes just circling, so they'll come back around.
They'll come back around and drop down in altitude and join up with the 47 on the runway. They'll be in the air, the airplane will be on the runway. That's where they'll join. Absolutely. They gave them a different clearance slightly. It'd be runway heading, so they'll just stay in a straight line to 5,000 feet now before they turn west.
Yeah, and again, we're expecting the airplane to take off north from Payne Field here in Everett, Washington. And as you talked to Captain Firestein yesterday, the plan is to head north and then head west out towards the Olympic Peninsula west of Seattle. And then it's going to maybe go a little bit further west before coming back to the east side of the state.
That's correct. And it looks like they're just about in position for the brake release.
And there she goes. The new Boeing 747-8 Intercontinental going out for her first flight.
Noticeably quieter.
Absolutely, I can hear it from here.
Very early rotation there for probably the wind and the lightweight. A lot of thrust.
Heavy, contact to approach 6.5 half the flight. Switching 25 Boeing 0086, much a good day to you. 07, good morning, Boeing 008 Heavy, 1700, copy 5,000.
Boeing 008 Heavy, Delta radar contact, the Boeing active jet loss number 360.
8 a.m. local time, March 21st, 2011, the first flight of the new 747-8 Intercontinental. John, what a fabulous takeoff. I think we have just crowned the new Queen of the Skies.
It's certainly a good start and very beautiful takeoff.
Okay.
Everything looking very normal. They do leave the landing gear down for a little bit of time. That's a normal sequence of events.
Right, well, we heard the loud cheers from our vantage point. What was it like down at the runway? Let's check in again with Wilson Chow, who's with some of our Boeing colleagues. Wilson.
Hey, you know, all these people out here just saw a beautiful takeoff as the airplane lifted off and flew into the sky, and one of the employees who had a chance to really watch this airplane's takeoff is Daria, and thanks so much for joining us. It's cold out here, but how was this first flight?
It's really amazing. I just started 2 weeks ago, and I work in the 747 department in the Wings Majors. So it's really amazing to see the next generation 747 take off and see what I'm working on.
And you know, those wings, especially beautiful as it took off. You actually saw what you worked on. What does that mean to you?
Great sense of pride, and know that we build the best airplanes there are in the world. So, yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. All these employees, very proud of the work that they've done on this airplane. They're heading out right now after this successful first flight. A lot of excitement out here. Send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Wilson. And there you see the airplane already starting to bank west and head out towards the Olympic Peninsula.
United 957, contact Vancouver approach 128.6.
And we're expecting a flight, current schedule calls for a flight of about 4 to 5 hours, and that's pretty standard for a first flight.
Yeah, that's actually a bit longer than a lot of first flights. So if they can do that, that'll be a really great start.
Right, and like you said earlier, they'll get right to work in terms of once they've reached a certain altitude, start going through some of the test conditions.
That's correct. My guess is they've actually already started before they even made that first turn.
Absolutely. And again, a 4 to 5 hour flight from here. The airplane currently is scheduled to land back down at Boeing Field in Seattle, which is about 30 minutes south of where we are. And we are also set up to capture the landing here on newairplane.com with our webcast. We have a live camera decades, and they just do a fabulous job of keeping up with the airplane, and boy, it really shows off well there. And there again, you see the T-33s, the chase planes, right behind them.
Good morning, Boeing 008 Heavy, 1700 coming from.
All right, and I just got word that the official landing time currently is 2 p.m. Pacific time here in the Seattle area. Again, as John has always told us, first flights, test flights, are dynamic in nature, and so they could go longer, they could go shorter, but 2 o'clock is our expected time.
That's correct. You always have safety in mind, of course, and you also want to get a lot done on